It says we cannot connect you to the server. I don't know what that means. So I hope I'm live. Oh, I'm there. Okay. Hi, everybody. And to everyone that will be joining in later in the replays, or the replay. So my name's Corey. If you're first time here, this is my page of everything spiritual, mystical, life coaching, whatever comes up. There I am. Okay. Hello, Tracy and Lindsay. Hi. We're just letting people join in into the page. This is a spontaneous moment. I was sitting over there in the corner and I heard Spirit tell me to come in. And so I'm going to trust that I'm here for a reason. Sitting in my own moment this evening. So hello, just letting the room fill up. Welcome. Good evening, Edie. Nice to see you here, Michelle. Hi. You can see my dog. I do have to let my dog off the couch. I'm sorry. Hold on. She's too little to get off the couch, so she was having a little meltdown. I think she needs to come over and give her mom some loves. Say hello, Sid. So this is our snorer that you often hear in the videos. This is Sid. I think she should have her own page. She's the snorting and the sneezing that you hear happening. That's just, yes. She is my little therapy dog. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not want to get down? Okay. Hi, everybody. So let's just wait until we get some few people in here. Hello, Liz and Vera and Natasha. And I said hello to Tracy, I think. Yes. And Linda. Hi, Linda. And Jennifer. Hello. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Don't make me cry. Sherry. Hi. Kate. Hi. Who else? Danielle. Hello. Melanie, hello. So I am on Facebook and YouTube, broadcasting on both at the same time. And Beatrice, hello. So I wasn't coming in. I was sitting over here and I was doing some prayers and some meditation and sending healing energy and love and light home to my family in Newfoundland. Yesterday, my family, we lost one of our dear and near, my aunt. Left this earth yesterday, and so I was in my tears and in my moment, and then I remembered my last live was the last live that she actually came in and joined in on as well. And I feel the call to come in tonight. I just felt it that, the best way to be able to share, I'm home alone, the best way of able to share is to be able to, be able to sit in your grief sometimes is to sit with people you care for and to be able to sit and share energy and to share love and light. So I'm in here tonight, and there is my other sweet aunt. There's my Aunt Sheila. Hi, Sheila. I love you dearly. My heart is with you. So with you this evening. I'm trying to find the power and the strength in myself to be here tonight. Didn't know I was over there sitting down, and my partner's working. So for those who don't know, my partner's name is also Corey. And he's a truck driver, and so he's not here. So I'm home with my animals and alone, and can't be home with my family in Newfoundland. So this is often my closest connection to family and to people that I love, is to be in here. So I'm coming in tonight to be in my light, to be who I am, because I know that's who my aunt would want me to be. She was one of my greatest cheerleaders in me showing up and doing this work. And so let's see what tonight brings us. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So let me just open up the space and open up the energy. I did do some connecting and some channeling and open up the space for us to be able to bring in the love and to bring in the light and to allow in this beautiful space tonight. Only that is of the highest intention, and that is of good energy for each and every one of us. We bring in this beautiful in this beautiful evening, on this beautiful Sunday evening, we send in healing for the world, and we send love and light out into the world. For first and foremost, I am a spiritual healer. She was awesome, Michelle. She was an amazing woman. She really was. She was they call her stubborn. I call her determined because I have the same stubbornness. I call it determined. We're very determined women in my family, and so we bring in this energy tonight, and we bring it in with such love. And so I want to start by honoring with a card from the deck to open up the energy, and to open up the space and to be here. Thank you, Liz. Thank you all who are sending your love and wishes to me. All of my cards just went flying on the floor. So let's just not say that's jumper cards. So when a card jumps out of your deck, one card or two cards jumps out of your deck, you leave those out. They are jumper cards, but this is not jumper cards. So we're going to just pull, and I will pull a few cards for some people. Don't worry. Whoa, my cards are just like flying out of my hands. Okay, so we're going to open up with an opener. So the card that comes up is Thekla. It is the unseen wounds, and is that of the child and the woman energy, and the inner child and the inner child healing and the sense of self. And the swords are wrapped in beautiful roses and wrapped in love. And when we live and when we can allow ourselves to live from that sense of healed, that we don't I always say we don't allow our tongues to become the sense of a weapon. We allow our tongues and our voices to become that of love, to be that of love, to be inspiration and encouragement, to know that we can handle difficult situations and go through difficult stages by being calm, peaceful, and doing peaceful things. Those that make a choice to say other and to bring that out and to try to provoke that within others, that ultimately we lay that back where it belongs, and we don't ever change the essence of who we are because of somebody else trying to dig that dagger in or trying to get us to turn away from who and what we really are. So when we allow ourselves to be light, we allow ourselves to speak with love, when we allow ourselves to be that embodiment of the truth that's within, our own healing really truly does take place. When we honor our sadness and our grief instead of trying to suppress it, when we allow ourselves to go through any emotion and walk our way through, then we don't hold back, and then we're not constantly on that repeat of allowing what hurts to become pain that we project out. We don't get caught up in stories. We don't do those things anymore. We allow ourselves to sit in what we need to sit in. And I can honestly tell you, my own personal hurt today is not an unseen wound. It's a hurt heart. It's a sad heart. And I would not have honored my sadness a few years ago. I would have tried to be strong. I would have tried to be what I needed to be for everyone else. And I'm not. And I am sad. And I'm sitting in here tonight in my own personal sadness. I'm sitting in my own personal grief. I'm walking through that with my family who's far away. And this is the only way I can stay connected to my family. But that's the beauty of the process, is you don't have to, it's okay to live vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be where you are, but it's also okay to walk forward and to walk forward in our lives, to walk into the light, to live in that light, to be present in our light, to know that we can still also be walking forward in that beautiful energy. And so that the more that we honor our own emotions instead of suppressing our emotions, the less of those that dagger kind of energies that we actually project out. We don't look for the essence of having something to hold responsible for what we need to feel within ourselves. And we're always existing in somebody else's experiences and somebody else's fated experiences. And so there is there's such a journey through that, and allowing ourselves to be there. So when I first started tonight, the first thing I did was I pulled out my one of my singing bowls, or my, yeah, I have three, but this, I pulled out one of my singing bowls, and this is the will. This one right here is actually for our solar plexus. It is for the essence of where our power comes from, and the power that's within us, and to be, and our will and our willpower and our strength, and knowing that is that sometimes our will and our sense of our own personal power is in the ability to allow ourselves to sometimes sit into that weakness and to let yourself be weak. I'm afraid to go ding because I don't know how loud it's going to be in your in the microphone, so I don't want to ding it again. I did already do that. So I'm honored this evening for each and every one of you who do need those prayers. I have set up a healing. I set up a prayer circle. I've set up I've got my own little ceremony happening where all my little candles are lit, where I've placed my own family in love and in healing, and placed them in the little healing circle, and sending out love to each and every one. And so whoever else needs to go into the healing circle and needs a little extra prayer or a little extra sense of encouragement or inspiration within, I'm setting the intention to place each and every one in there as well tonight. So could use some pain removal? Well, Wendy, I'll place you in there as well. So I'm placing everyone who needs to go in there into this beautiful circle tonight. Welcome everyone who's here. Thank you for being here. I am going to choose a few people. I am going to do a few cards. So I'm just waiting for the room to fill up. So now that the room is filled, I am going to go back through and I'm going to choose a few people. How old is my dog, Vera? That one Yorkie, that one is Sydney. She's 8. Her sister is 7. Her sister's over there in the corner of the couch. So that's Sydney over there, and she's 7. And then the ragdoll cat that's always up in the screen, she's 11 and a half. And then I also have a betta fish over there named Blue, who actually comes up for me to pet him. So my betta fish actually comes to my voice and comes up and wraps around my finger, and I have to pet my betta fish every day because I talk to it with love. The nicer you are, the more love, the more you talk to things with love, the more love comes back to you. Just saying. Okay. Edie LeBlanc. Edie LeBlanc, you are my first card. If you are still here, this card is for you tonight. And I'm actually got 2 decks I am pulling for you. So, yes, Brenda says for real. So my sister-in-law, Brenda, said, yes, for real. The fish really does do it. She does know. She's been here. The fish really, really comes to me. Is Edie here? I'm trying to see. Oh, there you are. Okay. So Edie, you are my first. Your fish does the same thing, Aaron? Right? I'm telling you. Okay. So I am going to the Carolyn Mice archetype cards as well for you tonight, Edie, along with my cards. So in the Everyday Goddess cards, I did get Queenie, which is the eye of the beholder. And as you can see, it's hard to see because of the lights, but as you can see, there is that beautiful heart, and it's got the rainbow bridge around the heart, right? What surrounds our heart, and the beautiful illuminating white light. And so in the center is in the center of this heart that we can be, and it's just like I spoke of, we can be in different stages at once. We can still be going, we can be existing in our grief. We can be carrying the torch of our hurts, of our pains. And then we can also be projecting and moving forward in our own healing, in our own journey. And to be able to honor that within ourselves is so important, so that we don't allow ourselves to get lost. So we don't allow ourselves to get lost in the emotions and to be wondering, the why me or what's going on with me, and start to be able to bring that love into our hearts. And so for you, spirit is telling you, loved ones are telling you that your heart is actually, even though your heart is hurting, and even though your heart has hurts and pains, and you are walking through a grief journey, that ultimately that you need to know that your heart is being surrounded by a lot of love, a lot of love. And so I want to say that, it's the presence of, I know I have the presence of children with you, like your children, but I also have this woman here with me. And I have this strong presence of this woman, and she smells like Avon perfume. She's got the smell, I want to call it Avon perfume. That's what it smells like to me, Edie. And I know she's here with you, and I know she's here for you. And the cards that came out is the essence of martyr and Samaritan. That would be your mom? Okay. Because I'm like, I can taste it. Avon perfume gives me a headache. It's that, and nothing against Avon. Sorry, Avon. I love your bubble bath. But it's the old Avon perfume. And that's what I smell. And it's given me like that taste in my mouth, like I got it. And it's so present that she wants you to know that she holds your heart as a woman would do. Like as the essence, like as the child energy would hold your heart. So as child energy would hold your heart with such love, and just as mom, like such gratitude for mom. Your mom holds your heart with such love as another woman, as a woman who holds your heart. You can't use Avon either, but your mom did, right? Okay. And she knew you would know that right away. It was something that she's like, tell her this because this would be instant for her. So she knew that you would know that instantly. And so she says to tell you that, it's like, so the martyr and the Samaritan, and what the martyr and the Samaritan cards is, learning to kind of transcend. And so I'm going to show you, learning to transcend nature of service to one's own cause. And so it also brings in, if we're in our shadow self, it leaves us in the addiction of our own self-pity. So that, don't take that the wrong way, but in the upright, it also means transcending beyond what our heart is capable of. So sometimes we think we don't have the strength. I don't have what it takes. I can't do this. And then this energy, this power out of nowhere comes. And it just says to us, like, there's a difference in being a healthy martyr and being a martyr complex of feeling like we have to be there for everyone else, we have to do. But that sense of Samaritan and being the good Samaritan is that, when we allow ourselves to refine our sense of self and to open up our hearts, we open up to giving and receiving and the generosity. And you have this beautiful heart that loves to do things for people. And your mom is saying, now let me do this for you. She's trying to be the Samaritan to you. She's trying to be that sense of healthy martyr to you. She's trying to say, I'm trying to hold you up. I'm trying to help you through. You love to be able to share. You love to be able to give. You love to be able to give. And she's like, and notice like there's two little children here. And that honoring of the most beautiful things that you can actually do is for you to be able to open up your heart now. And open up your heart to allow your mom, Edie, for your mom to wrap this beautiful rainbow energy around your heart, and for her to rise you up, to give you the strength and the courage to do some of the things that you're going to need to do for you in these coming days. I want to say in 2022. Like coming into this year, it has just started. And to just be that, and to exist in that, and to be present in that, and to just know that she is with you, and she's coming in strong, that she's here to help you rise up. And that doesn't discount the grief stories, but there is something that she's trying to bring forth for you that helps you rise, so that you don't see yourself as this, you don't lose yourself to that sense of the shadow of us. that you don't get lost in any sense of um, the hurts, or I want to say words like resentment, like that you're kind of holding like hurt in your heart that starts to manifest into something that takes you into a negative aspect, whereas she's trying to use it to bring you into a positive state of being. So there's this beautiful positive life. There's this beautiful state of existence that is now waiting for you, Edie. And your mom is trying to guide you there. Ah, I have been going through a hard time, but I know my spirits have been with me. Yes, absolutely. So she's here now for you, for your heart, for helping you through, for being able to bring you into this beautiful sense of self. She's your good Samaritan, because you are a good Samaritan. You have a heart of gold. And just knowing that she's there for you, she's walking with you, and she's there now to be that sense of that. She's that healthy, positive martyr energy for you, and for you to start shifting into a new archetype. Be your goddess. Be your goddess. Be her. Beautiful things are going to come in. You just got to start walking in the direction towards that light instead of towards anything that is the negative. Stay out of that shit. Stay away. And I hope that helps you in some way. Big family presence with me. Yes, 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 Pam, there is. My dear friend Pam, who's in here, Pam Brace, and her daughter Jennifer, who's here. And I don't know, is Melanie here too? I don't know. Pam has been a lifelong friend of myself and my family. And Pam was there right from beginning to end, right from when I went into labor and I couldn't go to the hospital. In a small town of Buckens, you have these people by your side. I felt you, Melanie. I knew you're there. And Pam was by my side. And so she was at my house. She's a nurse. And she was at my house and she was checking me as I was in the bathroom with myself locked in the bathroom in labor, and wouldn't come out only long enough for Pam to finally give me this thing of, you got to go to the hospital now. That's how closely connected we have been for many of years. So, the people in your life, it's amazing the people who are in your life, that stay in your life and that are there for you. So yes, thank you. Melanie, I'm choosing you. I don't know why I hear your name being called out. So Melanie Dixon, I'm choosing you for a card, or Dickin, not Dick. And so I'm choosing you for a card. I don't know why. I just have this call. I just have this feeling to choose you. So this is going to be for you. Yvette, I just lost my brother 2 weeks ago. I've never wanted to let go so much in my life lately. I feel like I could have saved him. Oh, Yvette. No, it's so sad that we really wish we could, right? Like it's such a, we'll get there. We'll get to that. I'm going to go to Melanie here first. So Melanie, I am choosing a card from my deck of the Everyday Goddess. So it's, being your everyday goddess, being who you are and being what you have done and where you have been within our lives. Yes, Pam has been there for all of us. Do you know what you're called, Pam? Pam, you are called an earth angel. That's what you are. You're an earth angel. That's what we would call you. Oh, Ursula. Oh, God, I'm really going to cry. I love you, Ursula. Melanie, I pulled the Cosmic Beauty Zoran for you. And she is the epitome of divine healer energy. She is that of the creator on earth. She's that of something that is born into being an absolute healer up on earth. Born healer, existing as a healer, truly having all that it takes only lives from the heart. That's you. You live from your heart. You give your all. You do your all. You give your all to everything that you do. You are one of those natural born healers that live up on this earth. Zoran is the cosmic beauty, represents a beauty that cannot be emulated, a beauty that cannot be created. No matter how much makeup and lipstick you can put on somebody, you cannot make that kind of beauty exist. That's that exterior beauty. Your beauty is so from the inside out, and it illuminates. You are one of those light beings. You're a light worker. You're the essence of everything that the world needs more of. You have been placed in positions and jobs within your life that have truly defined you as who you are. This is bringing in sacral healing for you, in the womb, in the sense of the lower energy of us, so in our emotional self. It is just saying that you have done so much for everyone else that you truly have to step into this place of honoring your own emotional healing. There is a lot of emotional things that you've had to be strong. I'm like, sounds like I'm kind of might speak to myself a little bit. It's like where you've had to be strong, you've had to be that pillar, you pull it together, you can pull yourself up, and you can do what needs to be done. You're being told by our beautiful loved ones on the other side, you're being told to really let go, and to fall into allowing yourself to go through your own emotional healing journey. That there is something more that's unfolding for you through this journey of all that you have witnessed, all that you have been through, all that you do. And so it's really truly telling you, and this is a 30, so power of 3, that mind, body, soul connection that is bringing forth this energy. You truly are a light worker. And you're in a journey and stage in your life where you are going to be going through what we call ascension. So the emotional release, the emotional healing, accepting and living only from a place of the heart is now allowing you to ascend beyond. Somehow, I don't know how this is going to unfold, but ascend beyond anything that you ever thought was possible. So something beautiful, a miracle is unfolding, something that is coming in as if you're being gifted, and all the way to the womb, all the way to that girly parts of us, all the way through, and moving and projecting you forward. Miracles and blessings. And I'm getting a big, big thank you. Whatever you did in those last moments, wherever you were and whatever you were doing in the last moments, is what I just heard. Thank you. Thank you. You have a lot of people on the other side who are not even family. You have a lot of people who you've somehow helped and was of service to. And so it's bringing in that sense of Shyama. She's that love in the dark. And so when that sense of having to be somebody, having to be strong, having to walk in that light, having to be courageous, having to be all that, let it all down now. Let all those walls down, let all of that down, and let the light in to help you. Just like let the light in to help you in some way be able to let yourself heal through some of the emotionals that is coming. But I also have a beautiful sense of miracles unfolding. Whatever you've been hoping for, wishing for, something you've been dreaming of, and I don't know if that's another child or what that is, but there's something coming in for you, something beautiful. And femme fatale, your divine feminine side. See, this is all about your divine feminine. And so this is your feminine energy. This is about coming into your feminine energy, letting yourself be soft, letting yourself be cared for, letting people love you, letting people honor you, letting people be there for you. And so this highlights the erotic energy of the feminine. Open your heart where your dependency is rejected. You reject somebody, you reject that kind of soft love trying to come in, or people trying to help you, or people trying to, and you try to be for everyone else. And now it's time for you to allow others to be that for you. Yes, the little nephew. Hee hee. Sisterly love, sisterly love. But this is about your feminine energy. This is about you being there. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love and so much gratitude. And I just know there's just beautiful things. You radiate. You are a blessing in this world, and you are truly a natural born healer. And sometimes we can become the unhealed healer. And sometimes our sense of our own self gets neglected and put aside as Leia comes in, as you know, and sometimes that essence of who we are gets turned aside. I know who just sent this cat over. My love for cats goes a long way in this family. And so now it's time for you to let yourself heal, let yourself go through any healing that you need to have at this moment. And yes, I can tell you all, right, Ursula? This is our beautiful Aunt Wheezy is here. I know she's here. I know she's present with us. So thank you, Melanie. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm going to go to Yvette. Yvette, Yvette Supernaut, I'm going to go to you. Yvette, shifting gears. Yvette, I don't know why, but I just wanted to start rapping. I just wanted to start like doing some sort of rap music or some sort of like music like that. I don't know where that ties in, but I could hear the bass. Like I could hear like I'm not going to rap. I can sing angel music. I can't sing rap. I just wanted to do like some sort of like, I could see the bass. Like I can see this big, like the big booming speaker going type of thing. And I just got this sense of, you may not know this, but where we are, there is joy. And for you to really, you're so very welcome, Melanie. You know, there's before, how do I put this? I'm going to act this somehow out. There was nothing you could do. He loved his music. Okay, thank you. Because I'm like the beat is just going. If you could hear the music that's going in my world, in my head right now, and what I'm hearing, and my hand is on my heart, like such love for you, such love for you, such love for how hard you tried. He says, listen, and he's like going to the beat. He says, listen, I'm not in this misery that you think I'm in. I'm not in that. That's not where I am. That's not what I have. This is not the way it is over here. It's not how it goes over here. And he says, I'm okay. He knows you're not okay, but I'm not where you think I am. I'm not where you think I am. I'm here. I'm in this music. This is real. This is real. He says, this all over here is very, very real. He tells me that his world on earth was darker than his world over there. That his struggles on earth, and he's doing this like he's talking with his hands. He's very expressive. He can be larger than life. And I feel like he's very larger than life. Like where he is, Yvette, he's like larger than life. He's just big. And he just like, no, I'm there. And it's like, you know, I'm myself. I'm this sense of myself. And he's like, not for you to discount what you have to walk through in your grief, but he says, you cannot carry the burdens that you carry thinking that you could have done something different for me. You would not have been able to do anything different for me. Nothing you would have done. You know, even that sense of the scares he had prior, even the sense of other experiences that he wasn't enough to frighten him into making the changes or doing the things any different than he would have need to do them, than he would have been able to do them. He says, I am where I am where I am, but you can't stay stuck in that story because it's not honoring your grief journey. Honoring your grief journey is for you to let go, he says, let go of being attached to thinking that you could have done more. You have to honor him by allowing yourself to walk through that grief. Walk through your own heart's journey and know that he is very present with you. And I don't know if he got himself, Yvette, if he got himself into some trouble at one point, and why he shows me like orange. He keeps showing me like an orange outfit or something. So I don't know if he at some time got himself into some trouble, and he's like winking at me. He's like winking at me. He's giving me some sort of winks. He's quite the charmer you got for a brother there. But he is telling me that it's almost like I so feel his presence. I can tell you, Yvette, he's freaking alive in spirit. He's very alive. He's fully over there. He's fully where he is. And he wants you to honor your own journey, honor where you are. And so he brings up this sense of master manipulator energy. And so this is when we can play with our own minds and we can get caught trying to be the bleeding heart, always trying to be the savior. And I feel like for you, Yvette, too often you're trying to be that savior. You're trying to, like, you get very stuck in your head thinking that there was something more or something else you could do. He was a ladies' man. Okay. I'm like, he's like winking. I'm like, he's like right here in my space. I'm sending him home to you. You can have him. He's playing his rap music. He's doing his thing. But I feel like he was like trapped in a story or trapped in his own mind in something. And he was stuck there too often. And he just says, like, don't get in your head. Like he says, don't let this get in. Don't let this take you like in your head. Don't get up there. He says, I'm telling you, put your efforts into your own heart. Do the healing that you need to do. The beautiful medicine woman card that rooted in ancestor love. And he knew he was loved. He knew all of that. That still wasn't enough. And he just says, you know, you're walking through this journey of what we call that darkness, right? We're walking through that darkness into that journey. But he says he knows who and what you are. He knows that you have that pillar of strength within you. He knows that you have that power within you to step forward, but you don't have to be it for everyone else. You have to honor your heart. And that's how you will honor him. Honor your heart. If you don't honor your heart, you're not honoring him. Right? Right, yes, because he's not your first to lose, right? So it's like, yeah, and you're still here. And you're still here. So you have to really, truly live from your heart with this. And do these beautiful things for you. Honor your grief, honor the journey, walk through that light as my cat is back behind us cleaning herself. And just being there for you. Don't try to be for everyone else right now. Be for you. That's what you need to do. I hope that message helps you in some way. Okay. Aunt Sheila. Is my Aunt Sheila still here? You tell him. He's right there with you. He can hear you all the time, Yvette. Talk to him as if he's there, because he is there. He knows how much you miss him. Me too, Ursula. I hope she's here. I'll tell him for you too, just in case you think he can't hear you, but he knows. He knows. But I'm sending him home to you now. Okay, let's see if Aunt Sheila's here. I'm going to read her a card anyway. And we'll just tell her what time this is, what This is at 39 minutes into the video, 39:55. So, yes, there she is. There's my sweet aunt. So this is the aunt. If you were in last week's live, I was telling you this is where I got my style from when I was a child. I used to sneak into her room. There she is. She's here, Ursula. And so Ursula's her daughter. And I used to sneak into my Aunt Sheila's room. And I used to put on her socks with the little toes and the stripes on them, the colored stripes. And I'd put on her long, like flowy little nightgowns and dresses and stuff. And I'd wear her long necklaces. And she was the coolest, hippest to me in her style. She had long, sleek black hair, parting in the middle. And I used to stand up on the bed and I used to like strut. But she was tiny. She was little tiny petite thing. And I'm like monster size compared to the family. And so that style lives on because that's all I wear. That's exactly who I am. I've never left that style, and now it's all back in. And my bell bottoms, my everything. I still live in the flowy clothes and the big jewelry. And so yeah. So Aunt Sheila, let's see. So the first card that comes out and the card that I get for you is the Everyday Miracle. And it's the roses that's coming in. And it's like the roses are falling down around us and I can feel the roses. And I know this is your mom, my grandmother, but this is your mom. And she's showing me something that you gifted her and gave her. I know you gave her a lot of things over the years. But I feel like it has like little tiny roses or something on it or little flowers on it that represents. And she says, I am still your mother. I am still holding you. I am still loving you. I'm still holding you as if I was on earth with you. She is so present and so here with us in this very moment. And it brings forth the Everyday Miracle card. And this Everyday Miracle card brings forth that essence of knowing your faith. And she knows that she has a different religion than you. As she was Anglican, but you're Catholic. And she says to tell you your prayers were heard. And she says to tell you to really, truly bring forth or connect to your Mother Mary. And that your healing will be in your power of your prayers. I don't know what you've done with your prayer beads. I don't know if you've had your prayer beads out. And our grandmother was Anglican. And so, but Aunt Sheila, I know you're not. I know you converted over with marriage. And this is the card that came out. This represents everything of how Mother Mary channels through me. The Divine Mother channels through. I speak the essence and I write for Mother Mary. And I know Mother Mary, how powerful she is within the presence. And if you go to her statue at the church in Buckins, she will talk to you. Trust me, she talks to me every time I go. But she's telling you, your Mother Mary is there. Nan is there. And she's telling you to your prayer beads, something about you and your prayer beads, and bringing out your prayer beads and bringing forth the essence of who you are. She tells you not to downplay who and what you are, that it's time for you to let your truth out of your heart. She tells me you closed down your heart. You closed off a big part of who you were when Nan left. And now she's asking for you to open your heart again. She's asking for you to open your heart again, for you to step back into the essence of your faith in knowing who you are and using the power of your prayer to be that light, to be that presence, to be who and what You need to be for yourself, for the family, um, and that's your heart has to open back up. It's like now or never. You need to do some serious healing in your heart and to be present. Pansies, yes, beautiful pansies. Um, and that your heart, I don't even know if you can even try. I think your heart's just going to like be like this explosion, heart opening. There's some healing coming in your heart. And she says, really honor the journey of walking forward with your daughter, the journey of walking into embracing the upcoming wedding. That's kind of the celebration. And I hope I'm going to have my own wedding sometime around that time as well. Um, and that you're just going to be truly just like, let all the weight go off your shoulders, feel it all leave, feel this fall away, and just give your burdens to her. Give your, any of the hurts and fears, surrender into the arms of the Divine Mother, into our divine pansy nan mother to you, and just know that she's there for you. And that this is a beautiful healing time for you. But the power, you have to bring out your Mother Mary statues, wherever they are, bring them forth, lay them out, set up like a little altar. And yes, I'm going to call us what we are. We're like little witches. That's the essence of who we are. My grandmother's from a family of 7 sisters, and we are all the generations that follow after. And I can hear you, Sheila. I can hear you call me. And know that this connection, this sense of who you are, and your heart healing, do it now. And set up that altar, light your candle, sit with your prayer beads, and just bring forth this beautiful healing energy. There's so much inside of you that's just ready to just like come out, more than your puzzles, more than some of the things you create. This is like the creation of you. And this is a moment of endings and beginnings, but it's also a moment of kind of a rebirth that's happening within you. And before you know it, I feel like there might be some grandchildren coming in. I love you. I love you with all of my heart. I really like this. You have to know that you are so surrounded tonight, so wrapped in that love. And that love is so present with you. And it's not an earthly kind of love. This is divine love. Divine love. So she is the everyday miracle, and you are the essence of that everyday miracle. Like there's something that is like, be that for yourself, do things for you now that it's time for you to start doing for you. You are very loved. You are very loved. And I hope that resonates, but I think you're going to hear Mother Mary talk to you like I do. And to end it, to validate that imperfectly perfect is my Gemma. And for me, this represents that Herkimer diamond. I carry this everywhere with me. And I always say, I used to always say, I don't need to be a diamond that's polished into perfection. I've accepted my imperfections. I've accepted the past and the journey that we take and who we were, but past versions of us no longer exist. We are imperfectly perfect, but we are perfect in the eye of God. And we are the essence of this. And we can create such magic from that imperfection. But letting love into our hearts, letting ourselves open up our hearts to be loved, to accept it back in instead of always giving out, it is time for you to start doing that. You are so, so welcome. And yes, of course, your sister is also there, but it's Nan. Good old Pansy. Right there. Right where she's met. Oh, fuck. I just looked down and realized what mug I'm drinking tea out of. I'm drinking tea out of my same card that I pulled for you. I am drinking tea out of tonight. Wow. Be your own miracle today. So you and I got the same card, except I got mine on a tea mug and you got yours in the form of a card. We'll drink tea to that one. Our grandmother always drank tea, or my grandmother, her mother, always drank tea. Tea is a Newfie thing. And that's all I drink now is tea. There's our validation, Sheila. Something beautiful is coming. Take care of that heart of yours. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So now I'm moving on up again. Tracy Ghostkeeper, are you still here? Tracy Ghostkeeper. Right, Sheila? You just can't make this shit up. Okay, Tracy. Felicia, I even like straight black tea. If you haven't tried London Fogs, try a London Fog. I drink London Fog with soy or almond milk. I have a dairy allergy. My dairy allergy always explained why as a child I always had what they called the snotty nose. It's because I actually have dairy allergy. Tracy Ghostkeeper. So I'm going to the archetype cards for you, Tracy. I'm skipping over kind of some of the things that kind of, crazy stuff happening, and not skipping over. I'm not neglecting it, but yes, they are the best. Yum. I make my own at home. You have a dairy. See, Felicia's the reason why I bought that up. So I just make sure I have soy milk or. Oh, okay. So here we go. So in reverse for you, Tracy, I do have the martyr in reverse that shows your shadow self often feels like you need to be there for everyone. It feels like when something goes wrong, you feel the need to have to jump in, to step up, to have to be that martyr. And that's kind of like the addiction to having to feel the need to help, to somehow say that I've always got to be there. It sounds like you exhaust your energy, right? So you exhaust your energy in feeling the need, and it satisfies something. It's satisfying something that's within. What it's telling you is that you can be there. Stacy, I'm going to come to you next, okay? I'll do you next. I'll pull. So I'm like doing this, Tracy. I'm like holding my face. You got somebody who loves you very dearly, a grandmother, a great grandmother, and she's like holding your face like this. I feel like she used to squeeze your cheeks or something when you were little. And I feel like she was kind of the one that was the savior of the whole family always as well. And she's like squeezing your cheeks or holding your face. And she's like, oh, and what she's telling you is that you're not really a martyr. So stop trying to be it. Stop trying to be there for everybody. That's not what you're there for. She's telling that you're an actual storyteller. What you're here is to be able to tell the stories that can help others choose to make better choices for themselves. You can share your experiences, you can share your shortcomings, you can share your journey of like you do, like I do in my teachings, right? I share my experience and say, put yourself in your experience, like put yourself in your experience, visualize you in your experience. So instead of feeling the need to always jump in or always be there for everyone else, like, and not saying you don't care or you stop caring for others, but sometimes, there's just only so much that you have to give. And if your tank is empty, you got nothing to give. And trust me, I've had to take a lot of time off this year to really, truly give to myself and to really rest in that. So what you're being told is that, what you're here for, your ability to put stories into perspective, to be able to step into somebody else's energy, to hold the space for people, but to not step in and try to do the work for people, is that your stories and your experiences can inspire others to be able to help themselves. So moving forward, coming into your future, is that you will be using that same gift. Yes, you are sure you're empty. You got nothing left to give. You really don't. And so this ooh, like little cheeks, like little Tracy, little cheeks being held by grandmother, great grandmother. It's like, oh, just like, and and so you are going to, moving forward, find ways to be able to shift archetypes into your story. So the role that you play in that story in the next chapters of your life truly will be about you. Stepping into being able to share, to express, express thoughts, express emotions without having to be in. One of the greatest things that I often will do is, if, especially when my daughter was a teenager, and so I wouldn't be projecting, you got to do this, or this is what you did wrong, or I know this is going on. I would say, hey, you know what? I remember this experience of when I was young, and I would use the experience and tell a story and say, and tell the outcome and say, you know what, this is what I had to do. This is what worked for me. But without projecting that onto her of, I know this is what you're doing. I know this is what you're up to. And so I would use it, and it would give people the power of being able to think for themselves, and to use that to think for themselves, because we're always getting half-assed stories. So we can turn anything into a big story. We can create a big story. But what we're always getting is we're getting half-assed stories. We're getting bits and pieces. Oh, my mother is here too. All in the family. And so you get those half-asses. So being able to use your stories from beginning to full circle to completion, to seeing the woman at the end and how you triumph through things, that will be your best tool for stepping in, rather than you always feeling like you have to step in to be that for everybody, to feel like you have to do that all the way through. So you're going to be changing archetypes. And look up the numerology. Actually, I'll probably share this in the post. I'll see if I can find it again and share it in the post. But if you look up your birth name, and I know you still have a maiden name. So like if you look up your birth name, so your first name, your middle name, and your maiden name, and you look up the numerology on your name, like not your birth date, but on your name, it gives you like your destiny and what we're here to be. So mine, if I put in Corey, comes up as a teacher, like here to teach and guide, which I do, ultimately I do. But when I put in my birth name, Corina, Lorraine Thorne, when I put in my birth name, my full name, and I do the numerology, I come up as a mystic, which is ultimately what I do. I'm here to be that mystic. And as my mother says, nobody told me that I had a mystic I had to raise. I didn't even know what the hell I didn't know what I was supposed to be raising. Right? So that sense of ourselves. So when you start to find the essence of the destiny, that your destined self, and you start to, readjust your path, which is exactly what you are doing. You've already stepped into that. When you start to readjust your path, you start to walk a new path. So in neurolinguistics programming, as a coach who does neurolinguistics programming, is that what we do is we build new neural pathways. So we stop trying to travel that same direction. So that's how we end up in repeat. Why we repeat the same habits, why we continually have that, we don't break those patterns, is because we keep following that same pattern. So it's like traveling there's a paved road, and then there's a bumpy road that's full of rocks and dents, and for some reason you're like, oh, I don't like this road, but you keep going this road. Oh, this road hurts. Oh, this is like shakes things up. It takes me longer, but I keep going this road. Well, but why don't I go this road? I know that road is there, but why don't I go this road? Is it, do I not feel worthy? Do I not feel valuable? What is that? And so when we start body mapping, we start discovering our truth, and we start to discover the whys of why we react, behave, why we have our habits, why we're conditioned. And then we start to look at ways to do a new neural pathways. That was me holding the teddy bear in last week's thing is, sometimes it's to give ourselves something. Like the minute I say to you, like, that road is very bumpy and that's not your direction. And then I'll say to you, say you're wearing a necklace. Now, every time that you want to travel that, every time that your thought goes to going back that bumpy road, hold your necklace for a moment. Hold on to your necklace. And as you hold on to your necklace for a moment, now think about the smooth road. Think about the joy. Think about, give yourself a sensation of feeling like getting to that destiny and just being, or traveling a smoother road, and feel that. And now hold that necklace. Now our thoughts just changed. So being able to create a new, being able to create a new image, a new sensation, a new feeling, new thought, all of your energy just traveled over into that new path. So everything just went there. So the moment you get right here and you're triggered and you want to pass that trigger and you start to think about there, you may even get so far and you're like, I don't like this. And then you stop. So you actually, it becomes, you travel it less and less and less and less until you finally, and every time you go to hold, say, that necklace or something that you're holding, then you instantly will think of that new path. And eventually you'll want to travel that new path. Eventually that new path is the only path you're going to want to walk. And I've done that with so many things in my life. And Joanna's here. and my and my stepmother is here, and I guess my father is probably here too. Yay, we're having a reunion, and we got everybody. This is how we do things in Newfoundland. If we have a celebration, like when someone passes in our lives and we have a big celebration, we open the door and everybody in the neighborhood comes. Everybody brings food, everybody comes, everybody's welcome. And at my grandmother's house, everybody was welcome. Everybody, but leave your shit at the door. You weren't allowed to bring your shit in, but you could bring your love in. And everybody was loved and everybody was welcome. And so that's, Tracy, that's the way now that you're going to start to see things. You're going to connect that way. And I hope in some way that helps you. I hope that somehow connects with you and it resonates with you. And yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Yes, Ursula, that is the truth, right? And it's like, after my many years of traveling this and doing this, so one of my greatest things that, for me, when I started to embody the light, when I really start to live from this place of, the journey, and I know it must seem fucking crazy to people, watch me go from, this journey to that journey. It's like, why are you talking about, like, I never knew, I did not know that I had as much pain in my body. I had physical pain and my body was manifesting. My body is deteriorating. There's, and I've worked really hard on staying level. And when the physical pain became so much and I had to walk away from my 30-year career, that career was beautiful, it was wonderful, but it also kept me busy. So I was physically busy. I was always at service. But then I had to start hanging out with me a whole lot more. And during that time, when an awakening starts happening within you, you start to remember everything. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I remembering this? But you don't remember it so that you can sit in more misery or so that you can blame the world. You remember it so that you can start to see it from the person that you are today. So that you can see it through the eyes and the heart of the person you are, so that you can set people free. So that you can set the hurts, the miseries, so that you can acknowledge it, that no, it wasn't okay. Things weren't okay. But, but there was a lot of great things. So once you can extract and remove and do the healing work, then you start to find that beautiful nuggets, because what you do is you replace the suffering, because we're programmed to suffer. And you start to replace it with love and light. And you start to rehabilitate and restart relationships within your own life and your own family in new ways, because you're no longer telling yourself stories in your head. Your subconscious will always hold these stories, and you will tell yourself every story in the world of why. My story was like, oh, I'm the number 2 child. I was the forgotten child. I was the black sheep, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. But it felt that way. So I acknowledged to that little girl, she did feel that way. Yes, she did feel that way. And there was reasons why she felt that way. And so I no longer discounted or neglected it. I just said, I'm going to choose a life that's more than just existing. And I would never have thought I was a writer. And I've written almost 6 books in less than 3 years. I've created a deck of oracle cards. And what happened was that I walked into the light. I rebuilt that relationship and my connection to the undeniable of how powerful that God consciousness is. And I mean, and I'm not going to argue of what it means to anybody, because if it means it's the essence that there's something greater than us, but there's something within us that matches that greatness, and that we have to step into it, and we have to honor that for ourselves, treat ourselves as if we are that of that greatness, and become that within us. And our gifts are for others, but their gifts are also for us. They're here for us to be able to heal. And the biggest blessing that I realize is that I'm born into a family that on both sides of me are filled with amazing gifts that I've inherited, that's passed down, and honoring that, and also being surrounded in love. And that's what you acknowledge. And so, yes, we've had challenges, and yes, you go through that. But when you can tell your stories from a place of love instead of a place of hurt, when you can acknowledge that within you, it's amazing how different your journey is. And that essence of that softness, that gentleness, I remember the essence of who I was as that little girl. And I remember the essence of just being, just being love, and wanting to be that. And that's who, you strive to be. It was through the eyes of my granddaughter that I really truly could see me. And I'm like, I would never be able to speak to her the way that I've spoken to myself over the years, or the way I treated myself. I'm like, if I would never be able to do that to her. So if I can't do it to her, I have to see myself that same way, because that little child still exists within you. Take your little child, put it on your chest like in a strap, and walk around with it, and give that little child every one of the beautiful experience. Show that inner child a beautiful life. That's the best thing you can do. Stacy. And I hope that will, share that story, Stacy, with your daughter. And how do you do that? First of all, you have to look back. It doesn't happen overnight, Tammy. I always tell people, listen, I've got some great products. I've got a great school that's called More Than Existing Academy of Higher Consciousness, and it has some amazing facilitators in there, and there's some great free products in there as well. And it has a lot of free meditations. I have a YouTube channel. I have many things. I have two YouTube channels. One is only podcast, and I have a radio station. And so I have a radio station that I talk about all this stuff as well. But it starts by making a choice to choose. You got to choose you. And I always say, you got to break up with you. You got to break up with all of you that you're trying to defend. You got to break up with all of you that you keep trying to hold on to. And that sense of being like, blah, 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 like you got to have an opinion about everything. You got to blah, blah, blah. You're always that. That's called a closed chakra. That's a closed throat. The ability to go silent, to be mindful, to be in the moment. Tammy, go to Angela and get some Reiki. That's a good way to start. She's right there. My mother is also a Reiki master and a generational healer. So she's right there. She can also help you start to get mindful and to get connected, and start there. That's a good start. And then start doing some of those free things that are also in the school. Stacy. So Stacy, the card that I got for you is that sense of being like that master building upon 22, sisterhood, divine feminine. And so knowing that we hold the line and that we hold the truth. And thank you, everyone. I'll read all the comments as we come along here. And so being able to, just know that sometimes we're like a fish out of water. And I always said, when I took the leap of faith from being the the girl who just worked in my little room, I was the secret reader for a long time in my life. I actually had to hide who I was as a medium, because I would be like crucified for being who I was. There was many things that was said to me that were unkind, and that was within my own place that I was existing within. And so I would have to hide that. And I say, oh, no, I'm not that. No, I'm not that. I'm not that. But in secret, in my own private little room at the salon, I was doing all of my work. And when I got out of there and had to walk back into my real world, I had to pretend I wasn't who I was. And so that sense of self really truly was that I was well hidden in a lot of who and what I was. And when I started to come out, it's like I used to say I became like in my town, in that place, and building up. And I really truly was a part of building this spiritual community in Slave Lake and getting this out and in the open. You become a big fish in a little tank. Well, then once you go through some experiences in your life and you go through these experiences, you become, you know, then you start to realize that you've got to move. You've got to shift your energy. You got to think bigger. You got to do bigger. You got to become that. And so then I said, when I had to become in this world and I had to start creating bigger and starting to really, I knew something was calling me to step up and out. Well, then it was like I became a little guppy. And I said, I'm still like a guppy. Now I'm like a guppy in a big freaking fish tank. And there's sharks and there's all kinds of shit comes at you. And it's all this stuff that comes at you. Well, that's the essence of what it's like even for a child who's growing. So having a teenager, having a daughter who's growing, who's evolving, well, it's the same thing. She outgrows the essence of that. And then she's put into the unknown and put into like that bigger energy and put into a bigger role. And then people have expectations or she's trying to live up to a legend, right? She knows the legacy she's living up to. She knows those things. And so she's probably like that fish out of water. So it's that essence of making her feel safe, making her feel like she has a tank around her, making her feel like she has a body of water support, like making her feel that sense of safe. So like my little Sadie is sensitive, like her hearing is, she has our gifts. I know it. And so any little noise, high pitched noise she hears, she goes, ow, ow. And ow, the wind touches her face and she goes, ow. And what I've started to tell her is, you are safe. So instead of trying to stop the experience or trying to keep her from experiencing, I just say, you're safe. You're safe. So you put a safety net around her. So you're safe to be you. You're safe to know that it's that we don't want to take away that sensitivity because that's a part of who they are. We don't want to take away any of the experiences they're going in. We want to give them space to allow them to exist within it. So it's about giving space and holding that space. So that divine sisterhood, the essence that what exists when you're in your groups or where you are, and we hold that up and we hold the space and we let it out. That, maybe she needs the big tire and something to beat, right? Like that take her to one of those places, book one of those places in the city that got those plates on them and you go smash all the plates, do those things. But that divine, and so in the card, there is a little tiny fish, right? Is that we may be in a big ocean. We're always going to have to live in this big world. And this will truly, and yes, she's going to be okay. She has the resilience of her mama, Stacy. She's you. And so that's why I know that this will help her through. Just wrapping her in that cage, like keeping her in that energy of just knowing. And remember this, you learned this. You can't use your past experiences on the next child, right? So knowing that that's not going to, we're not going to bring any of that energy into her story. Not going to bring any of that energy in. We're going to provide her that sense of just knowing she's supported to be who she needs to be, to go through her experience. She's loved, she's there, but she also has divine love. She also has powerful little wings that are wrapping around her and with her each and every day. And she's going to be good. And so, yes, go break those freaking plates. Do those kind of things. Do things that are especially just for her and just about her. And yeah. And she's you. She is you. She will do what she will do the things that she needs to do to find that her strength is innate. She has a powerful power center, and she's strong in that center. She's not here to impress anybody. That's not how she is. So give her a big hug for me. And yeah, I hope that helps. Okay. Right? She's beautiful. She's got and it's okay to be weak, right? Our strength can be weakness, like let ourselves be weak when we need to. And her brother is very with her all the time. All the time. I don't think he leaves. Okay. I got to go back up, read what Angela, and so true. One chicken could feed many. Yes. Yes. So Joanne Thorne, another family member. Also here. This is our Pansy and Daisy stories that we talk about often. Yes, one chicken could feed many. And it's so true. Yeah, our house was always so. And my house is the same way. Here, the summer, like we could, it doesn't matter how many people come. And I have a partner who loves to cook and loves company and is from, a family that's the same way. And so when company comes, it's like the highlight of our lives. And we're both Corey and Corey. So they call us boy Corey, girl Corey. And he introduces me to everybody as Corina. And I'm like, and so we always say that, it's like, no matter what, there's always enough food. We always got room. And he's the same way I am. Bring freaking air mattress. We don't care. We'll make room for people. We don't have that not enough room thing. We make room, sleep wherever, walk over bodies, whatever it may be. Yes. And that's where she, her being able to go into like her own little meditations and talk to him, Stacy, so important. Okay. I'm going to do one last card to close this out. I am my healer energy. I am like, my body is soaked. I am just like the heat. I can just feel it. I know it's flowing through me in the joints of my arms. And Tammy, that school that I talk about, that's that Corey, the MTEacademy.com. If you just punch in MTEacademy.com, it'll bring you into the school, and there's all kinds of free stuff. Like, it's not that you got to come in. It's not trying to sell you something. Like, there is all kinds of free stuff along with, including meditations that really help us stay mindful. Even if it says full moon, new moon, doesn't matter. All those meditations are all set with healing in them. So this is one last card for everybody. This is, I'm out of energy to be able to do any more for everyone else. But please come back. I will be back. But this card is for everyone. This is a general card, and I'll end it out with a couple cards and a closing out as my candles are burning. I've got everyone placed in this beautiful healing circle that we have going here tonight. And as I spoke about the moons and the full moons, what we have is forever yearning. This is Luna. This is Luna. And this beautiful card, of course, all these cards, it's hard to see with the light. Sorry. Like that. And we spend so much of our lives. There's Joanne, my other Joanne. We spend so much of our lives forever yearning for something. Like, it's that sense of like we're trying to replenish something, or trying to bring back something that we think we missed out on, or something that we didn't get in life. that sense of, I used to say, it's like, I just want to be understood. The thing that we're often requesting the most of the world to give to us is often the one thing that we have to give to ourselves. One of the greatest, messages that I've received in my own healing journey was, you want the world to understand or listen to you. Well, you have to listen. The other was that, I appeared to be so confident. And my mother always used to say to me, I wish I only had half of your confidence because I can dress confident. I'm confident in a lot of ways. But if I was so confident in myself, I would have believed in myself when other people either came at me or when other people tried to, do things that weren't very nice in words. And instead, I would almost like self-sabotage my own self, fear, hide. But that, learning to be able to truly honor your intuition and to be able to trust who I am. If I could do this for everyone else, I was not doing it for me. And that was the biggest thing that I learned, was that you got to be able to use what you have for you first. Do what you got to do for you, and stop yearning for the world to make your world a better place. Stop waiting for someone else to come in to make your life better. There is no one else coming in to make your life better. Even if someone else comes in, you will find, as if there's still something within you, you will pick them apart. You'll find something wrong. You'll find the flaw. You'll find something else that is wrong. You'll end up in the same type of thing, because what we need the most and the relationship we are seeking the most is the one with ourselves. To come into relationship with your soul self, the essence of your truth of how we arrived, is knowing that we have that all within us. And that the more that we become our own bully, our own enemy, is that then we also allow it to be acceptable in how sometimes other people even treat us. And then we also then don't realize that that's what we're doing to ourselves. And that freedom and freeing ourselves of all of that is to not to, have expectations on someone else to be that, or not to say, that's just the way people are. No, we all have the ability to be a different person. We all have a disability. We all have the ability to grow beyond those things. And I mean, I could have lived a life disabled. I could have lived a life angry at the fact that my body ended up where it ended up. But instead, I took it as a blessing and opportunity and said, this has taught me so much. It stopped me in my tracks. And I've taken ownership and responsibility for my own life. And I stopped forever yearning for there to be this light, for there to be this magical moment or this magical things. And my grandparents taught me something great. They told me to be at peace with myself, to just be at peace, and to just be able to find that sense of contentment within you. You can still thrive in life. You can still reach goals, but your success has to match the inside and the outside. And to be that means that you can't be ashamed of who you are. You can't hide who you are. You have to be that, but first you got to find that person, because we all create the identity from ego. We create that larger than life, that bigger than self. All of that is from that self that we create. And when you start to create your truth, when you start to find you and you live in that truth, you find aspects of who you are in there as well. But it is about the essence of living from spirit, the essence of your spirit, and the essence of those spirits that walk before us, those ancestors, and what we learned from their experiences. We're not here to be them. We're not here to emulate them. We're here to even rise above. They knew what they knew for their time, and then they have that limited of what they knew, and we're expanding and evolving beyond that. And that's how we start to grow. Be us and be true to that. And that's when you stop forever yearning for something outside of yourself to bring you everything that you need to find within you. And that begins the journey. Don't forget to put the candles out. That's my mother talking. But she also knows that I've come close to burning down the house a few times. This crystal ball was in my truck. And there was tissue paper. There was all kinds of paper towel from when I left my last house, and I'd cleaned, and I had it in the truck, and we moved, and the sun was beaming off of this. And I went out in the morning. My truck was full of smoke, and the paper towel was all burnt, but my truck was still there. Same thing happened with my desk. Same thing happened inside this house. 3 times I've come close. And yeah, so my mother's always like, blow out those candles. They're right in front of me, Mother. I can't blow them out. I have to let them burn out because that's how a healing circle goes. You don't blow out the candles. You have to let them burn until they burn out. They're tea lights, so they have a time limit. And that's how we let the fire blow. And then in the middle there is holy water. It's blessed water. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, thank you. Right? Yeah, when you change your perspectives, you get in the crossroads, get in the middle. Get in the middle of yourself, see all sides, and don't identify people by the roles or by the jobs or by the titles. Because there's nothing any worse than assumption. Assuming something to be the way it is because that's what you heard. Right? It's like I have one of those trucker partners. Right? My partner is a truck driver. And I remember, when I was a kid, I say, I'm not going to ever date a trucker. And then what does my life end up with? This beautiful trucker. And I'm like, and this essence of to hear people say those things now. And I'm like, that's a job. That's what people do for a living. That doesn't define people. And anyone who tries to create a narrative around by labeling people that way, assuming makes an ass out of everybody. And assuming leads to lies and deception and causing fear and division. And when you can come into the crossroads and you open your mind and you open your heart, you explore a lot deeper in being blindsided or having a one-track vision or a one-track mind. You open your mind to possibilities and you discover deeper so that you don't have that sense of hate, anger, judgment, criticism. It doesn't own you, claim you, and you also don't hold it on anyone else. And when you can set yourself free of that, you set your own self free of judging your own self and being so critical. If you don't want to be judged and criticized, if you want someone to really listen to what you have to say, you have to be open-minded enough to be willing to listen to something else that you may not want to listen to. And that's how we start to become a much more loving and beautiful person in a much more loving and beautiful world. So thank you all. Thank you for being with me. Good night. I love you. Thank you for all of the well wishes and the condolences. And my heart is with my family. Thank you to all of my family, each and every one of you, for coming in tonight, for being here with me, for surrounding me as I'm stepping up and forward. My heart hurts, and I wish I could be home with you all. And I know when we do come together, when we do meet this summer, that I know what kind of celebration we will have. And I know the angels will be with us. Much, much love. Have a beautiful night. And I will be bringing home another blessing, as my second granddaughter will also be coming home with us as well. So 2 beautiful little darlings will be coming home, and to be meeting Pam's, to be meeting Pam's beautiful grandchildren as well. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Much love. See you soon. Come back again. Bye-bye.